tech is coming for finance with or without blockchain. That was going to happen. New corporates, companies like Amazon and Uber need more financial services than the current system is able to provide them. And the blockchain technologies are in the right place at the right time.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Ryan Huggins here, aka Win with Ryan. What if you were about to send money across the world, maybe to family, a business deal, or just an impulse buy, and then it vanishes into a black hole for days, racking up fees that you can't even track? Frustrating, right? It's the hidden trap that's drained billions from everyday folks like us in crypto and beyond, leaving us chasing shadows in a market that's already volatile enough. But what if right now, as rules shatter and giants like Swift finally bow to a faster, fairer way forward, you could flip the script, unlock seamless global flows that put real power back in your pocket before the next big shift leaves the slow behind. Stick with me for the next few minutes. We're going to be diving into XRP stepping up as the first blockchain player in the new global payment standard, FINRA's game-changing tweak to day trading barriers, and Swift's bold admission on cross-border upgrades, and a stark altcoin warning that's got everyone watching their steps. We will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the financial world today. We're gonna head over to Forex Factory and find out the red folder news that came out this morning that you need to know about. We'll head over to Altcoin Pro University and check in with one of our top analysts, Solj King, on the new altcoin market overview that he just came out with. And we will be jumping into the XRP charts, looking at very important levels of support and resistance that you need to know about right now. Plus, we'll be looking at long-term and short-term momentum waves and so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day doing crypto research, well, that's what we do for you here on this channel every single day. So make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are feeling bullish about this current bull run, let us know by commenting 777 down below.
Do you love crypto, but are you worried about taxes shrinking your retirement nest egg? Here's the deal. Trading and selling crypto can trigger capital gains taxes, eating into your wealth. A crypto IRA fixes that. Per IRS publication 590B, traditional IRA gains like those from crypto aren't taxed until distributed. That's why we've partnered with iTrust Capital, a leading crypto IRA company in the USA, to sponsor today's video. And they offer institutional grade custody for retail clients that want to set up their crypto IRAs for retirement, leveraging top storage solutions like Fidelity, Wells Fargo, and Coinbase Prime to keep your assets secure. To get started, simply click the link in the description of this video, sign up for free, and fund your account with cash. They also offer 401k rollovers or crypto transfers, and you can trade 24/7 with just 1% transaction fees and no maintenance costs. As always, I'm not a CPA or financial advisor, so consult one for tax advice, and we do earn a commission if you sign up using our link below to fund your crypto IRA account, but that helps support value-based videos like this. And iTrust Capital already has over 200,000 crypto IRA accounts and over $14 billion in transactions, proving they're trusted by smart investors just like you. So click the link below, get started now by funding your account today, and let's create generational wealth together.
First things first, we're going to head over to CoinMarketCap, check out the overall health of the crypto market today. We are down 4.24% in the last 24 hours. We are trading at $3.73 trillion total market cap, and that was on a heavy $238 billion worth of volume, mainly selling pressure today. Fear and Greed Index coming back into the 41 neutral zone. Altcoin season bleeds off a little more, 70 out of 100. Bitcoin dominance continues to take a little tick to the upside. We were just about to be at 56. Now we're all the way at 58.4. And the craziest metric of the day, Bitcoin's ETF tracker, even with the craziness volume outflow, they had a $240 million worth of inflows into Bitcoin's ETF tracker. Ethereum, on the other hand, minus $73 million to the downside. However, on the week, net total $231 million worth of outflows for the Bitcoin ETF and $290 million for the Ethereum ETF. So the ETFs are draining this week. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Bitcoin number 1 at 109,000. Number 2, Ethereum at 38.71. Number 3, taking the number 3 spot back, Tether at $1. XRP coming in at number 4 at $2.74. And BNB falling under $1,000 again at $9.43. Solana at number 6 at $192. It was an absolute shocker in the markets today, considering we had phenomenal financial market news coming out today. At 5:30 a.m., the final GDP numbers did come out. They were revised up again. They were forecasted at 3.3%. Came in super hot at 3.8%. That is phenomenal numbers. Unemployment claims, same scenario here, forecasted at 233,000. Came in significantly under at 218,000. These numbers right here should have sent the markets to an uproar. Even Trump was surprised by the markets crashing to the point that they did today based on the numbers that came out.
A tremendous amount. And I heard numbers coming in today, Scott, where the numbers were very high, right? The
economic numbers were off the charts, sir.
Unfortunately, right? Because this is the only country in the world where you announce great numbers and the stock market goes down. Because when you announce great numbers, they immediately want to take that success away by raising the interest rates. Why can't you announce great numbers and let them lower the interest rate so you can make numbers? This is the only country in the world. I don't know if you heard. Could you just tell them what the number was? And how
it was 3.88% growth, the biggest in years. And the important thing, as the president says, this is going to be non-inflationary growth, just like it was in its first term. So strong growth, low inflation, real wage gains. And to the question on small business optimism under President Trump last week hit a multi-year high. So small businesses, Main Street is back under President Trump.
But isn't it crazy? So I saw the market was down a little bit today. I mean, in all fairness, I don't feel guilty because we've set every record you can imagine. But it was down, and I say, oh, the numbers must be good.
So yes, indeed, the market was down, but the numbers were definitely good. Will the hot streak of good numbers continue next week? This is what you have to look forward to for Red Folder News. JOLTS job openings, ADP non-farm employment, manufacturing PMI. Then on Thursday, we'll have the unemployment gains again. And on Friday is going to be some big numbers as well. That non-farm employment change plus the unemployment rate comes out. As you saw in the intro of the video, David Schwartz coming out with a video here for Ripple's. Can institutional adoption and decentralization work together? In the first episode of the On-Chain Economy series, David Schwartz, aka Joel Katz, says yes and offers that neutrality is key. He explains how tokenized assets and on-chain credit are bridging the gap between TradFi and DeFi, and how the XRP ledger is the perfect foundation to support this shift. If you like these types of updates, make sure you head over to Ripple X's X page, and you can see the link you can click here to go over to Ripple's blog. That gives you this nice 1-minute video over on YouTube going over the on-chain economy with David Schwartz. And we do have some big breaking news, as you heard in the intro. XRP is the first body member of the entire new global payment standard, not Chainlink. Now remember, there's a big feud going on between XRP and Chainlink. And you can think of ISO 222 as the universal language that banks and blockchains will speak by November, which will be replacing clunky old SWIFT messages with richer data for faster, clearer transactions. And Ripple's XRP ledger is now shaping all of that from the inside, testing alongside with SWIFT to bridge crypto and traditional payments. And why this matters is cross-border payments hit $150 trillion yearly, but delays and fees eat into that. XRP sub 4-second settlements could slash those, making it a quiet powerhouse for real-world use like remittances or trade. And yes, you did hear that right. When I said SWIFT, there is more evidence coming out that XRP will be involved with SWIFT. Big news, we're launching a major new initiative to transform payments for consumers and small businesses, working with some of the world's biggest banks. Our new scheme will be to ensure that cross-border retail payments are as fast and predictable as domestic ones. This comes from Chief Business Officer from SWIFT. So they're rolling out this new scheme to over 30 banks to make retail cross-border payments as predictive as your local Venmo. No hidden fees, full value transfers, and instant settlements where rules allow. It's their way of admitting that the old system's creaky 75% of payments already hit banks in under 10 minutes via the GPI. But this pushes for 24/7 transparency across 4 billion accounts in 220 countries. What about the importance? Well, everyday users and small businesses get screwed by opacity today. This levels the field, aligning with G20 goals and opening doors for crypto bridges like XRP to plug in seamlessly. And very exciting news going on right now. XRP Soul is happening. 3,000 plus participants from 40 plus countries came together with passion, energy, community, spirit to shape the future of XRP and XRPL's ecosystem. Brad Garlinghouse even chiming in. One thing you know about XRP community, anywhere in the world that they show up in force, huge congrats to XRP Soul on their first event, and we at Ripple are absolutely looking forward to the next. More from Soul information here from King Val X. Swift admits new global standard for cross-border payments, a new standard of cross-border retail payments. Together with a coalition of over 30 early adopter banks, we're developing rules that will set a new standard for consumers and small businesses sending money internationally. Under the scheme, participating institutions will commit to upfront transparency on payment and FX fees, guaranteed full value delivery, end-to-end visibility of transactions, and commitment to instant settlement where available. And in a video from the archives, Vitalik Buterin knows better than all of the maxis about Ripple and what it can do. He himself admits Ethereum is not the internet of value. Ripple XRP is.
That's really what Ethereum is. You know, people talk a lot about things. Talk about cryptocurrency 2.0 being like the internet of value. We're not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value. We're an arbitrary processor for state transaction functions.
Yes, you heard that right from Vitalik himself. He says, we are not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value. And in a huge, huge breaking piece of news here for all of you investors out there that have ever wanted to be investors but couldn't because you didn't have $25,000 to be involved as a accredited investor, as they used to call them. Well, the Financial Industry Regulator Authority has approved amendments to replace the $25,000 minimum equity rule for pattern day trading. FINRA just greenlit amendments scraping the $25,000 minimum equity rule of pattern day trading, pending the SEC nod. Since 2001, you needed that cushion to day trade stocks or cryptos without flags. Now it's intraday margin based on your positions, no fixed floor. And why is this important for you? Well, it democratizes access. Smaller accounts can swing more without sidelining, potentially spiking volume on platforms like Robinhood, up 1% on the news. In crypto's wild ride, this means that nimbler plays on BTC dips and alt pumps, but watch for risks. It is why that old rule existed for sure, to curb over leveraging. So if you're under 25K, this could be your ticket to test those waters, but be smart. All right, heading over to Altcoin Pro, checking in with Solj King, the top analyst for altcoins on the platform. Altcoin market overview, downside warning. This came out 17 hours ago. We've also been talking about the downside here with that new moon energy. We're going to be talking about the charts here shortly, but let's look into this attention shift in narratives. Now, this is important. This is what we talk about a lot over at Altcoin Pro that you're probably missing in all of those other crypto groups that you may be involved in. By the way, if you would like to get involved with Altcoin Pro Universe, there is a link down in the description below. We do have a 14-day money-back trial. So get in there, try it out, learn all you can, see if it's right for you. But let's go into the macro context of what is going on right now with the crypto world. Well, first off, as you know, we have these rate cuts. Traditional finance had a stock rally, but investors feel safer in equities, leaving crypto lagging behind. There are risks right now. Stocks are up, but crypto is down. When a stock is down, crypto is down more with no new highs or faster recovery in sight. Bitcoin is showing low strength. It's not holding that 112,000. Remember, this was 17 hours ago this came out, failing to lead upside momentum. ETH and Bitcoin under pressure. If it holds below 0.037, that's the ETH Bitcoin pair. Next leg down is 0.034, which would be about 10%. 10% down on ETH BTC means alts get slaughtered 15 to 30%, charted 0.037 previously. but now new lows look apparent. Bitcoin dominance climbing and holding near 59, which we talked about that in the beginning of the video. So alts do not look safe any longer. Biggest altcoin news out there that is actually happening, XPL Plasma launch. Second only to Hyperliquid in profitability. This combines stable coins plus trading perpetuals plus blockchain. It actually captures all three modes. The valuation raising $20 billion at a $500 billion valuation, valuing it as one of the biggest alongside OpenAI. And the narrative here could dominate mindshare and become the institutional retail focal point in this cycle. And we've been talking a lot about Hyperliquid being that super focus. Now with the XPL launch, it could be taking out Hyperliquid. There's a big debate about layer one settlement. Layer ones claiming to be the global settlement layer are losing the edge. For example, Ethereum, XRP, because Stripe, Circle, Google, Tether, Plasma are all proving that in-house chains equals more customizability plus security. And the trend right now is verticalized in-house infrastructure versus generalized global layer ones. Now, Solj also goes on to say, do read more about Yoni, our other top analyst, information here. And if we click on this link, it will bring us to the crypto market cycle thoughts. This report was launched 2 days ago. In order for you to get more access, you will have to subscribe to get access to this report. So here are the key takeaways. Crypto lags behind traditional finance. So be cautious of correlation risk. Bitcoin is weak. Ether Bitcoin risks all the way down to 0.03, which equals heavy downside risk for alts if that does crack. So let's take a quick look at the ETH BTC pair and see if we have dropped below 0.037. Taking a quick glance here on the daily for Ethereum Bitcoin pair, we can see that New Moon Energy has definitely driven the pair to the downside, and it is below the 0.037, currently sitting at 0.03558. Long-term momentum wave has actually crashed below the bull bear line here. We are in bearish territory for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Now take a look at this. Last time we did have a dip for ETH versus Bitcoin under the bull bear line here. When it crossed back up, which was back in July of 2025, it absolutely ripped to the upside, doing a phenomenal job. And it was also powered by the cross and the full moon energy to the upside there. So we're going to keep an eye out on the next full moon. Remember, that does come out October 6th. This new moon energy has definitely been detrimental to the markets as of the last couple of days. So watch out for that heavy downside risk. XPL Plasma plus Hyperliquid now define the institutional revenue and infrastructure race for crypto. Global layer one settlement narrative is fading. So in-house blockchain is taking the lead, and B in leading alts that command liquidity and mindshare right now, they are the lead for reasons. So again, if you like this type of detailed report on your crypto coming out to you daily, make sure you head over to Altcoin Pro, links down in the description. Heading over to XRP on the daily charts, as we have been covering, like we talked about, we did break back down below the bull bear line for XRP as well. And we were already paying very close attention when that new moon energy was about to hit us here. This next line, as I mentioned, is the next full moon when we get the more positive energy. It doesn't hit us till October 6th. Yesterday, in our video, we talked very precisely about maintaining this level here as a potential consolidation between that $3 level and $2.75. And right now we are sitting at $2.75. We do definitely need to get back up into the range here, in my personal opinion, and maintain support above $2.80. Hopefully this was just a flush. Remember, we had that massive flush back here on September 22nd, and then another flush again. Hopefully that finishes the flushing out. We can get back up in here, consolidate sideways for a while, and then push back into the new full moon. As we talked about yesterday in our video, though, there is a potential if we lose this level of $2.68, when we switched looking for supply and demand zones, we switch over to our Heikinashi candles, on the daily chart, there is no catch, right? So even right now, we are not being caught by the daily support. This is actually our 4-hour chart support. So when we flashed over to our 4 hours, we went back in history and we looked for, okay, during this pump from $2.26, we pumped up. We had this consolidation period for a couple of days where we had these red candles. That is a support level for us, okay? Now, there is one right above it, but because of the fact that we're already in this level, we don't need to use that other one. So right now, I'm really concerned that if we were to drop below this level that we just called out here of 268, there is no place to catch on the 4 hour, right? It could literally free fall back to $2.30, which is obviously devastating. Now, we do have something coming up in just a couple of hours, potentially like 24 to 48 hours, which is our 4 hour 1100 exponential moving average. So every one of these candles is 4 hours, and this is our 1100 exponential moving average right here, the blue line. Price has not got there yet. That could act as a very solid support for us. If we check in on the 3 hour one, you can see we're sitting on that literally right now. But with this negative energy that we're experiencing, there is a very high likelihood that we lose this 3 hour 1100 exponential moving average. Now, right now, as I said, it's catching it as a hold. If we go to Bitcoin and take a look at it, it has already lost its 3 hour. It did fall into its supply and demand zone, which is between 108 and 107. But like I said, it's already lost this 3 hour 1100 exponential moving average. So the next one down for the 4 hour 1100 exponential moving average is right here at the bottom of our supply and demand zone, which gets us into the $107,000 range. So that's what I'm watching for Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to Ethereum, Ethereum had that random pump and really drove it significantly higher and away from these levels. Now, what you can see is it did fall right into one of our supply and demand zones. So, I mean, there is, based upon these, all of the charts that we're looking at right now, they have fallen into these supply and demand. Is it possible that we do springboard back to the upside from here? There's a lot of buyers in it's so far down, guys. Like, this has been a gnarly drop. There is a possibility that there's buyers here ready. If not, here's my next level. So we're looking at Ethereum. We're going to take a look at the 4 hour chart here, and we can see where price broke down. The next level for Ethereum, if it's going to catch, I need to turn on the magnet here, is going to be more than likely this zone right here, 36.13. Now, if we want to be super conservative, we can actually use our highest point of the red candle here, which is that one. So now we have a supply and demand zone. This is rather large though. But 36.94 to 35.63. But I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to say that it's going to come all the way down here if it does. If we lose this level right here, which is exactly where we're hitting right now, supply and demand, if we get back to traditional candles, you can see we hit it just right. We even have a new green candle starting here. There is a possibility we start a turn up. If not, then we will be coming back down potentially these levels here, $3,600 for Ethereum. Now, what 1100 are we getting caught on for Ethereum? The 2 hour. So we can see the Ethereum is sitting on the 2 hour 1100 exponential moving average. The next one below it is the 3 hour, which is down here, which also coincides with that supply and demand zone. So ultimately, let's hope that the 2 hour level holds. It continues to make its way up and turn around for us to the bullish. Right now, though, long-term momentum very bearish on the 2 hour. Long-term momentum very bearish on the 4 hour. Long-term momentum has just crossed into bearish on the daily. 3-day charts, it's very bullish on 3 days, so that's positive. And our short-term momentum's ready to turn up. Let's look at weeklies. All right, so weekly, as we can see here, we have a short-term reset. It has not hit final reset yet. We do have 3 days, 0 hours left in this weekly candle. There's also something that I point out in nearly all of my videos, fair value gaps, right? Ladies and gentlemen, fair value gap has been filled now. It had not been filled. There was a fair value gap sitting right here on the weekly. It has been filled. Now, what is very scary to the downside, there's some significantly lower fair value gaps. Will these be filled? Potentially not. Can they be filled? Yes, they can. So let's jump back to XRP and look at some fair value gap stuff here as well. So as we can see, there is a very large fair value gap that we have started to close based upon this candle here, which was the July 7th candle when we surged from spider line $2.31, busted through the $2.75 spider line. That right there left a massive fair value gap. So that is not very exciting. Dropping down to the 3-day charts here, our 3-day candle ends in 2 days. So, we have broken down below this spider line here, which is the logarithmic spider line, which is our $2.79 now spider line. On the 3-day, we've poked through there. On the daily, we have officially broken through with a closed body candle, which is lower, unfortunately. We do have some positive news here. We have a fair value gap clear to the upside here and also here that needs to be filled, and also this one. So even though most of that fair value gap filled, not all of it. So the $3.42 does fill that fair value gap to the upside, which also then coincides with the $3.59 spider line there. But look at these fair value gaps on the daily to the downside that could fill in the big gap for the fair value gap there also. All right, now let's take a look at it on the traditional instead of logarithmic and see what we have here. So this was one thing that we did talk about. We were concerned about it, and you guys all have been watching my videos. By the way, if you're getting value from these videos, let me know down in the comment section. Type in value and make sure you smash that thumbs up. So as you guys can see here, we were on the spider lines. We were doing really well. Unfortunately, 2 days ago, we surged up and broke into the green spider line, failed to break through it. And then yesterday we collapsed, and we very likely could see the continued collapse back to this $2.58 spider line. The one thing that we can hope and pray for that is starting to play out would be this massive bull flag pattern that we've been talking about for a long time. So if this bull flag pattern plays out, that will get us a nice fat breakout to the upside. Let's turn off the magnet. So we go from the lowest level to the highest level. That's our flagpole there. We drag this to the breakout zone, which was here. Unfortunately, it failed. In fact, this was actually a tighter triangle, so we'll move that there. The breakout zone was there, and that gave us a $4.65 target to the upside. So conservatively, I think it would be more like $4.50 that I feel comfortable with. It's just right now, we have to wait for our 2 weeks to end, pain and suffering, to get through this new moon energy. And I know it's really crazy to think about that could be a realistic thing. But when you take a look at this on the daily charts, and we go back, the new moon hit here, price collapsed, right? So new moon hit at 326, price collapsed to 275. New moon hit here, price was at 306, price collapsed to 269. Now we have new moon energy here. It hit at $3, and we have collapsed once already to 270, and we're already sitting at 275 with a possibility returning to 257. And it doesn't just happen on XRP. If we look at Bitcoin, it's going through a similar scenario here. So as we can see, new moon energy hit right here. Bitcoin was sitting at 119. It dropped to 112. A full moon surge, new moon hit. We dropped from 116 down to 107. Full moon hit, surged up. New moon just recently happened at 116, and we're already down to 108. So keep an eye on that. It's not the only metric that you use when you're doing your charting and such, but it is something when you're timing out when you want to get a good entry for your spots. So again, none of this is financial advice. You don't buy or sell anything because we talk about on this channel.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers.